Live from the YouTuber studios, it's the Rush Hour Renegade, and now here's your host, the YouTuber. Thank you and welcome everybody to the Rush Hour Renegade, and welcome everybody. I am so glad you're here joining me for the Rush Hour Renegade today for this triple header, making up Monday, Tuesday, and today's Rush Hour Renegade. Let everybody know I am live on. Oops, dang it. So everybody knows I am live on YouTube. Alright, now it's taken care of. Let's take a look at my agenda. Yes, I know I'm live. That notification of me telling me I'm live, if it tells me I'm live on my phone, can go away. Alright, so we're going to talk about the NBA. News and notes and what we know about the NBA returning to having games played. So let's go into that. All the stuff I get generally is from ESPN. Sometimes I'll get stuff from local news in my area, as well as CBS Sports, Fox Sports, ESPN website, the ESPN app, the ESPN channels. So let's talk about NBA first, since it's on the top of my list as far as things to talk about on the Rush Hour Renegade today. NBA's returned. Let's talk about that right now, since there is no games played, so there's no scores to report, so we just have to report on news and notes. NBA, the inside the NBA's 100-page safety plan, big question and key details. After months of work, NBA has released its health and safety protocol for the resumption of the 2019-2020 season. On Tuesday, it covers the team's ramp up over the next several weeks in their home markets, the onboarding of every team upon arrival in Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and the guidelines for how the season will restart. Over 100 pages long, the protocol is a monster document that details everything from what happens in the event of a positive COVID-19 test to the rulings of players ping-pong in players' lounges at team hotels. Here's some answers for the big question. For the NBA safety plan. I'm reading this off of the ESPN app on my phone, just so you know where I'm getting this from. First question people will probably ask: what happens if a player tests positive? It says, according to this article, according to this article, the article says the player will be isolated and retested to make sure it isn't a false positive. If it is confirmed, the player will begin treatment and will undergo a period of rest and recovery lasting at least 14 days. It is clear from reading the procedures in this document that doctors with whom the NBA consulted are concerned about potential cardiovascular risks that come with having the virus. Players will be restricted from exercise that will have to pass cardiac tests before returning to basketball is even considered. So that is a article on ESPN app written by Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps. Next question on this article on the ESPN app says, how will people be tested? The league says regularly. Oh, how often will the people be tested? They say regularly means, which means sometimes less than daily. Under certain circumstances, they might be tested daily. How many people would have to test positive before the league to halt again? It is not spelled out, but it is clear the league is preparing for positive tests on this subject. The document says only the occurrence of a small or otherwise expected number of COVID-19 cases will not require a decision to suspend or cancel the resumption of the season. As to what constitutes as a critical mass, that is left undefined. And again, all this I'm reading and explaining to you is from this article on ESPN. You can go to ESPN.com and look it up, the ESPN app, and look it up. What if the player doesn't want to go? If the team determines a player is at higher risk of severe illness from COVID-19, he can be designated a protected player who does not have to report and will not lose salary. Additionally, a panel of 3 medical experts will review players' medical histories and could determine whether a player has a higher risk for severe illness from COVID-19. In that case, a player is excused and will not be docked salary. Players have the option to challenge the protected status, and a panel of physicians will have ultimate authority. However, if a player does not fall into the criteria and still declines to go, he will lose a corresponding number of game checks. For example, a player making $10 million per year will lose roughly $108,000 per game missed for up to 14 games. Players with this season-ending injuries who will be unable to play in Orlando, such as Brooklyn Nets stars Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, will still receive full pay. What about the older coaches? It says in this article, like with the players, teams might declare a coach or other staff member protected because of their health risk or severe illness. If a team does not declare someone who might fit this profile, such as a coach over 65, as a protected, the league has the option to refer the matter to a physician for review. Oh, hi. Whoever that is. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Hi to whoever is watching. So so yeah. So you can read more about that in the article on the ESPN app and the ESPN on ESPN.com. So let me take care of something before we continue. He moved my volume. I gotta look something up here. Alright, sorry, I had to take care of something. So let me move on to NBA. Let's talk about MLB. Oops. Where did that app go? I lost where the app was. Okay, so we talked about the NBA's return. Let's go back to MLB. And this one is called How Much Closer Are We to the title? Sorry. The title of the article I'm about to read for the MLB on the ESPN app is titled How Much Closer Are We to a 2020 MLB Season? This was written by MLB insiders for ESPN at 3:14 Central Time. It's about an hour or so before we went on air. Alright, so after several days of stalemate in... Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to answer my mom. So, it says after several days, this article on ESPN, the article on the ESPN app says, after several days of stalemate in the negotiations between the Major Leagues Baseball and the MLB Players Association, or MLBPA, we have some traction towards a deal to resume 2020 season after Commissioner Rob Manfred and the union chief Tony Clark met face to face. We are seeing the sport moved back towards discussion about offers involving schedule length and the postseason, and it says no more barbs in the accusations of bad faith. With that in mind, we asked baseball reporter Alden Gonzalez, Buster Olney, Jesse Rogers for their thoughts on the single most important question of the day. How much did today's developments push us closer to having an MLB season? Alden Gonzalez said this was a substantive offer, perhaps the first time a deal seemed possible, likely even. And he goes on to say a little bit more. You can read the full article on the ESPN app and ESPN.com. Buster Olney says there can only be one of the two outcomes at this moment. Either the owners totally surrender in the face of the players' unity, or they effectively end the 2020 season and shift to a war. And he goes on to say a little bit more, but I'll let you read the full article. I'm just giving the little shortened versions of it. Jesse Rogers said, the news of the day is that they re-engaged in talks, but correct me if I'm wrong, 60 games is a full prorate isn't that much more than the 50 they had been rumored. Well, only by 10. That'll be 10, only 10 more, if that is the case. And so I present that to you. So now I'm going to give you my opinion on the NBA and MLB before we continue on with the other stuff that I need to talk with the other topics on the show. So with NBA, I think it is possible of returning with some restrictions and all that stuff. And some players may want to be not playing, and some coaches may not want to be coaching. So you have the assistant coach be the head coach during that time, if that's the case. And with both head coach and the main assistant coach, do you go to the assistant coach, or do you just say this team cannot play because they don't have a coach that can coach? So, and MLB, I think we are getting closer to an MLB season. I think it's looking like it's going to happen. It's going to be a shortened season, for sure. Since you're getting into the middle parts of the year, and it should have already been going and getting close to the halfway point by now if we hadn't had the halt in the season, or not starting the season, the halt in the spring training. Soccer, that will be doing scores for that. Let's go over scores for I had to respond to somebody on Discord, so there you go. Let's go over scores for soccer. These are the top scores for soccer. Again, if you're just tuning in to the Rush Hour Renegade, we went over MLB and NBA. I read you the articles from the ESPN app, and those are also on the ESPN.com. So you can go to ESPN and the ESPN app and any other ones to find articles on NBA and MLB. So moving on to the top soccer scores and notes. In Coppa Italy, we have a final in penalty kicks. Napoli wins 4-2 on penalties over Genoa. And then we have in the Premier League, yes, you heard me right, Premier League, suckers are starting to return back. I'm happy about that. I like soccer. Especially the Premier League. My team is Man City. Aston Villa and Sheffield UTD 0-0 tie there. Man City won by 3-0 over Arsenal. So yay, my team won. In La Liga, basically that is, I think it's in Portugal. No, it's the Spanish Premier Division. We had 3 games, I think, going on there today. All scores you can find that we have not talked about can be found on ESPN app and the ESPN.com, as well as on any other sports site that gives scores for soccer, like CBS, NBC Sports, etc. 3 games, yes. 2 of them have gone final. 1 games are still in progress. The one in progress is Atletico and Zuna 2-0 in the same 5th minute there. 2-2 final and a tie and a draw between Eibar and Athletic. Valladolid 0, Celta Vigo 0. In the Bundesliga, we had all the games have gone final there. Frankfurt beat Schalke 2-1. Leverkusen beat Cologne 3-1. Dortmund lost to Mons 2-0. Augsburg lost to Hoffenheim 3-1. And RB Leipzig and FC Dusseldorf 2-2 draw there. I'm guessing the rest of the teams were off, like Bayern Munich. Next date for games will be on Saturday, June 20th. And then after that, not until Saturday, June 27th, and I think that's it. The season may be over by then. I don't know. Alright. That's it for the Bundesliga. Let's see here. Says La Liga. Which is AGF Unhurst and 2-1 win over FC Nords. Copenhagen 1-2 nothing over AAB. This was the Danish soccer. I'm gonna bring you some new details. I don't know if it's considered breaking news or not, but it's new details regarding not about the NBA's return or anything like that, but it has to do with basketball. About the late Kobe Bryant. This is an article on the ESPN app again. If I lost it. Dang it! Oh, there it goes. Yeah, this is from the ESPN app. So this article says Ara Zoba, which is the pilot, may have been disoriented in the fog. You can read about more about the article read the full article on ESPN app and the ESPN.com. Experts say shortly after the crash, the path of the flight indicated Zorbin was disoriented. So the full article you can find on the ESPN and the ESPN app and ESPN.com. Now let's go back to your soccer scores. Let's do the Liga, which I'm thinking that's Portuguese. That's Portuguese League. Yeah, there was only 2 games. One going on in progress right now. The 64th minute is 1-1 Rio Ave and Benfica. If I have mispronounced any of the names for any of the teams, I do apologize for that. That's a 1-1 draw, or 1-1 tie in the 64th minute there. A 2-1 final between Ferreira and Belenenses. 2-1 Ferrari there. That is the Liga. Then we have the Austrian Bundesliga. There was only 3 games there. All have gone final. TSV Hotberg and Rapid Vienna. Rapid Vienna won 1-0 there. And then we have a draw between Wolfsberger and FC Salzburg. 0-0 there. Lost Linz 4 and Streatham Cross nothing. That's it for the soccer scores. Any news to report on for soccer? Worth reporting. Let's see here if I can find something that's worth. I think that about covers it for soccer. Good to see soccer back and playing. Okay. Now let's see here. Tennis. Yes, I do like tennis now. If I can find tennis, more sports. We have a lot more to go over. We are extending the Rush Hour Renegade to an hour. hour programming. From now on, it's going to be an hour programming, simply because there's a lot to talk about. We have tennis, then we'll talk about golf, and channel NFL, NCAA basketball, NCAA football, other NCAA sports, horse racing, go over my announcements for my channel, and talk about weather. So, that is how the Retro Renegade will go, as far as our stuff is concerned. For tennis, just regular tennis news notes. Let's go over top tennis stuff. Serena Williams says she'll play in the U.S. Tennis Open, according to an article on the ESPN app. When that will be remains to be seen, as we don't know. Let's see here. The WTA and AP Tour is set to resume play in August. That is, I think, the men's tennis and women's tennis, I think. Yeah, that's men's and women's tennis, ATP, and whatever else I said. I forgot what I said. So that should return in August. There. Golf. Golf has returned, and I'm glad about that. I like golf. Alright. More sports. Men's golf. We'll talk about men's and women's golf. And then the college golf we'll talk about when we get to the NCAA sports. We have a tour going on. It's Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow. It's the RCB Heritage, June 18th through the 21st at Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, at the Harbor Town Golf Links. The defending champion is CT Pan. Looking forward to that. That's the latest golf tournament coming up this weekend. Hello to XMLLFA Lottie. Why it repeated? Why it's on there twice? It's on there twice, so that's okay. Not gonna worry about it. It's on there twice. That's okay. We're all good. See here, talk about the golf and NHL. That's the next one. If I'm moving too fast, let me know in the comment section or chat section below. I don't think I am moving too fast. When there's not scores and stuff to go over, when there's not a lot to go over for these sports, then it doesn't take long. Let's see here. It says players won't be expected to wear face shields when play resumes. As far as when they are going to resume back to play, Unclear. Not seeing that. Okay. So unclear on when that will return back. I have not seen anything. I'm not seeing anything on the news as far as that is concerned. So if you know anything about it, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be glad to take a look at that. Now the NFL. Oh, excuse me. As of now, looks like these games are gonna go on as played according to the scores and schedule. Let's see the news. I think it's looking like it's going to be going on as scheduled. We will let you know if anything becomes of importance that we need to bring up. In that thing. So, that's NFL, NCAA basketball. We'll do men's basketball and women's basketball. Oops. Let's see here. Something about a TBT 2020 bracket schedule and TV info, whatever that. Let's read more on that. That's interesting. The entire 20 edition of the 2020 edition of the basketball tournament TBT tips off July 4th and will conclude on July 14th with the $1 million championships game from Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. All 8 quarterfinals from the 2019 TBT will return to the fold, including defending champion Carmen's Crew, and all 10 teams comprised of college alumni will be part of the 2020 TBT, including groups represented by alma maters Ohio State, Syracuse, Marquette, Dayton, West Virginia, Clemson, Purdue, Marshall, and Oklahoma State. Because the way Oklahoma State had that sanction, that was for their current team and players, not the former players. Games will be on ESPN. That'll be on the ESPN family networks. So read the article for the score or the schedule and TV info there on the ESPN app and ESPN.com. Now moving on to NCAA football. If it'll cooperate. Before we do that, let's talk about the NCAA women's basketball. No word on whether it will start on time. Have not heard any stuff as far as NCAA basketball, men's and women's basketball for college basketball is concerned. Other sport, don't know as far as golf, cross country, track, tennis, all the other sports that college does, bowling, etc. So let's go over to talking about, what was I talking about? NCAA football. NCAA football. The Notre Dame Navy game has not been canceled. It has been postponed. That was for Saturday, August 29th in Dublin, Ireland. New date for event is being determined. All other games for that date still are probably going to go on as planned. As of now, as of what it is now, they are looking to get things rolling and get things going by the time the season begins. So we'll keep you posted as far as that is concerned. There's some other stuff on there that you can look up as far as what is going on in the college football, but I'll leave you to that because there's really not much there except for some stuff that has to do with controversy. I don't like talking about controversy even though it is out there, so let's talk about announcements, because I'll come back to the last two things, which is horse racing and weather, but I'm going to do my announcements now so I don't forget to do my announcements. Coming up on my channel, we have more Rush Hour Renegade, more MLB, the show baseball with the Oklahoma State Dodgers, and more MLB games as well. And more Wheel of Fortune to come on my channel, as well as this Saturday, two MLB games will premiere on my channel on YouTube. It will be, I forget which two it will be, but there'll be I think a morning game and a late. Well, I don't know what the late one is, but two games to premiere on my channel on Saturday. Weather is hot right now in my area where I am. Is 92, and that's in Oklahoma City. In Tulsa, the other big city in Oklahoma. If my thing will cooperate. My phone will cooperate with me. 91 feels like 95. In Atlanta, Georgia, it is 74, feels like 74. In Charlotte, it is 69, feels like 69. That's nice weather. I like that. Hampton, Georgia, 74, feels like 74. Daytona Beach, Florida, 80, feels like 85. Some showers in and around Daytona Beach area right now. San Antonio, the weather in San Antonio is 95, feels like 99. Yikes, that's a lot of heat. In London, in the UK, it is 61, feels like 61. Chance of rain in and around the area there. On the college campus town of Stillwater, Oklahoma is 94, feels like 97. So there you go on some towns in around, as far as weather is concerned. Not a lot mentioning weather. Hurricane season hasn't been that rampant, but it could still change. Still got some time left in the hurricane season. Hopefully it's not too bad. Hopefully those hurricanes will stay away and not cause a lot of damage. So that's weather and announcements. Okay. I like talking about weather on here. It's fun. Where I'm getting these from is my local weather station. You can type in on my app different cities in and around the United States and the country. Horse racing. Well, there's only just more horse racing going on, but we have some time before the Belmont Stakes take place. They'll take place also on Saturday. Tis the Law is the favorite at 6-5 odds. It's a 10-horse field, so 10 horses will race in that one. So, do we have the... Jockey Ortiz notches 2,000 career victory, so congratulations to him on his 2,000th victory. I do like watching horse races. Let's see here. If we have the names of the horses in the Belmont Stakes, let's look. I have a racing app. I will just be talking about it. I won't do any predictions as far as horse races is concerned. I'll just be talking about the horse races. Let's see here. Entries. Saturday, June 20th. Belmont Park, New York. Let's see here, which one is the Belmont Stakes? I think it's this race. Yep, tis the law, there it is. Yep, this is it. Alright, so we have... The post time is 4:42. The horses in it for the Belmont Stakes are Tap It to Win in position 1. Position 2, Sylvant. Max Player in position 3. Modernist in position 4. Farmington Road in position 5. 4 left. Position 6. Position 7, Jungle Runner. Position 8, Tis the Law, Dr. Post in position 9. Pneumatic in position 10. Jockeys are Ricardo Ricardo Santana Jr., Ired Ortiz, Manuel Franco, Ray Lu Gutierrez, J. Ortiz, Javier Castellano, Junior Alvarado, Jose Rosario, Rosario, Luis Panacea, and John R. Vasquez. The trainers and owners are like this: Mark E. Case, Live Oak Ranch Plantation, Patrick L. Bonco, and Reyes Thoroughbred Racing. Yeah, Reyes Thoroughbred Racing. If my phone will cooperate, I can get back to the rest, listing the rest of the jockeys and not jockeys, trainers and owners. Linda Rice and Hall George E. and Sport BLX T something. Let me let it pull up. Thoroughbreds Corporation. Hall George E. and Sport BLX Thoroughbreds Corporation is the owner for that, for one of the horses. Todd Pletcher, trainer, and Ellipse Thoroughbred Racing. Doug F. O'Neill and Redam Racing LLC. Stephen M. Amusin and Comet Farm. Barclay Tag as the trainer, and Saratoga Stable. This is for Tis the Law. All this stuff was Jungle Runner, Four Left, and none of the others. Dr. Post, Todd Pletcher, and St. Ellis Stable. Stephen M. Musa and Winchell Thoroughbreds Racing. Those are the owners and trainers for the Preakness. Preakness is on June 20th at 4:42 p.m. I think Central Time. So that's about it for my Rush Hour Renegade for Monday's show, Tuesday's show, and today's show. We'll have a show Thursday, and Friday. And that'll do it. So until next time, this has been the Tourist sign off. Until next time, keep on YouTube, everybody. We'll see y'all next time.